Welcome friends to a quick video about Local Law 97. I just spoke to the guy from KepSmart, and the reason why they have so many jobs, our landlord doesn't care about us in the first place, because then he would actually clean up the poop in the park. But that's besides the point. The point is this, is the reason is that he is following Local Law 97 and they're following Local Law 97. So it's not his fault that he's trying to save money. They're trying to just get everybody on board through getting them kind of like paid off. In this article, key aspects. So there's an emission limit. So they set an emission limit to the things, and they're trying to force through people to get this stuff. So is a landmark piece of climate legislation enacted as part of the city's broader Climate Mobilization Act. Passed in 2019, LL 97 aims to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions with large buildings, which are among the biggest contributors. So basically, by turning down our heat and by taking away our power to control our own heat in our apartment. Emission limit. The law requires covered buildings below specific carbon emission. Compliance begins 2024. In effect, further restrictions come into effect 2030 to 2035. Penalties for non-compliance. Buildings that exceed their emissions limits will be fined. Retrofits of emergency. So they got to get at least a big part of us using this AI emissions control. So probably what's going to happen is that the AI robot from KepSmart is going to keep the building only burning so much heat for the thing to save the environment. Recent updates 2024. Introduces new rules to offer flexibility, compliance, such as good faith effort provision, which allows building to avoid fines by showing committed efforts towards decarbonization. So, by the way, guys, carbon is life. We are carbon-based life forms. This is anti-carbon, which is you and me. So this is anti-life, this is anti-us. So additionally, the new electrification credit was introduced, incentivized to electrify the system earlier than. What are the key drivers? So greenhouse gas emissions, combat climate change. Okay, recognize buildings are a significant source of greenhouse gas. Law is driven by the recognition that climate change poses significant risks to the city. Another driver behind the law is potential. Okay, guys, so building, if you would have put those solar panels towards the heating of the building instead of probably making extra money. So buildings account for % of greenhouse gas emissions, because probably New York City, 70% of things are buildings. You a-holes. So Illinois aims to reduce emissions by 40% by 2030 and 80 by 20%, 2050. So they want to get rid of 40 to 80% of carbon, decarbonize us. So 50,000 buildings over 25 square are affected by LL97. What is the difference between Local Law 97, Local Law 87, Local 84? Energy efficiency. Requires buildings to undergo energy credit and retro commissioning every 10 years. The goal of LL is to identify and implement cost-effective strategy. Sets emissions limits to holding 25 square feet. Requires owners of buildings larger than. Okay, what buildings are covered? Buildings over 25. Buildings on the same tax lot. Condo buildings. Miro Rushi, New York Department. What are the requirements for building owners to comply? Compliance period 2024 to 29. Build must meet specific greenhouse emission limits. So they're going to use AI to turn down our heat in our home, and I think the guy didn't say on the thing that there is sensors that detect if you're there, but how would you know that they turn down the heat if you're not there at that moment? I don't know. 2030 and beyond. Annual emission reporting. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. This law is, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not paid to be a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice. Let me put it to you this way. This law is false on its face, on its head, because it's called the grandfather clause. This building is over 50 years old. It has a system big enough. They can make up all the laws in the world. They can't, let's say the new law is only buildings can be made of brick or stone and stuff like that. So that doesn't say that they can't make a law, because then the guy who has a wood building, what, they have to tear it down? They can't have a building anymore because they decided to do that? So the lawyers of the companies, instead of trying to get like people to take away their own power to turn on the heating, they allow centralized computers to turn on the heat whenever they want to them using AI that I think has sensors. I can't guarantee it, I can't prove it, and it's supposedly 10 days, but it gives, I think, them another reason to install, like, hey, we're here to check the smoke detectors, we're here to check the, what is this called? Whatever detectors, energy efficiency upgrades. Blah, blah, blah. Properties below the 2030 limits. LL97. Okay. Good faith compliance. Building owners must demonstrate that they are effectively working towards compliance. Okay, so they did demonstrate it by making a false legal statement that it's mandatory. This keeps up with the existing emissions related laws. Compliance plan. So they gave the plan. We're going to do this. Plan. Building owners must submit a decarbonization plan. So they submitted the plan, got the KepSmart on board, and provide evidence that they began work on the 2024 emission limits. So now they're sending around KepSmart to AI control our heating, avoidance of fines, building that meet the, so that's why they installed the solar panels on the roof. I think it was last year. Monitoring and enforcement. DOB retains authority to assess whether a building is truly making good faith efforts. Flexibility. So the government decides if it's truly making good faith efforts or not. No. The pathway was created in recognition of the challenges passed by, the COVID. Good faith provides. What if my building doesn't meet emissions? Building envelope. Building hot water systems involve installing energy efficient hot water heaters. Okay. What are the fines? For building owners who exceed the emissions limit? Okay. So, they're forcing this on us because they don't want to get fined. So this is not the building doing this to us. This is the compliance with this government mandate for Agenda 2030 to decarbonize us, which is just redefined of taking away people's heating ability, and like by 80%. So that heater is probably going to heat, what, 20% of the time in a couple years? We are not Climate Penalties Act. We got to save our, but not issuing a bunch of fines. Bull crap. They just want to make money. It's all about the money. Okay, so this article has to be posted up and for us to talk about it.